Hi, my name is Eric Sloof from ntpro.nl, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can configure a new vSphere 4.1 feature, and it has to do with the policy for load balancing on physical network cards. So first let's do a quick look around in the lab environment. What I did is I've created 10 virtual machines, and 5 virtual machines are hosted on my ESXL host, and the other 5 are hosted on ESXR. Every virtual machine has the Postmark utility installed in it, and all the machines are configured with a distributed port group on a distributed switch, and it's called the DV port group, so everything is default. So let's take a look at the network configuration. When I'm going to my networking icon in the vCenter server, this is the DV port group. Here are the virtual machines, and I already mentioned 5 virtual machines are located on my L server, and the other 5 virtual machines are located on the R server. So I have 2 hosts, and every host has 2 physical network cards connected to this distributed port group. So when I'm going to the properties of this switch, you will see that there are 2 DV uplink ports, and every host has 2 physical network cards. The ESX4-R ntpro.local server is the server we are going to use to check out the assignments of the physical NICs, so VMNIC1 and VMNIC2 will become very important to us. And if we are looking inside one of the ESX hosts, the R server, and we are going to configuration networking, you will see a standard switch right here with some virtual machines, a distributed switch right here with some virtual machines on it. So the even virtual machines are talking to the uneven virtual machines on the other host. So virtual machine 2 is talking to virtual machine 1, virtual machine 4 is talking to virtual machine 3, until virtual machine 10 that is talking to virtual machine 9. So I already mentioned 2 DV uplink ports, and VMNIC1 and VMNIC2 are going to be very important. So this is the setup. We are going to look at the configuration of the teaming policy for the distributed port group. So when I'm going to the port group and I'm going to edit the settings of this port group, you will find an entry right here, teaming and fill over, and the default setting is route based on port ID. So route based on port ID means when I'm hopping over to PuTTY, I've created a PuTTY session. I'm running ESX stop, and the great thing about ESX stop is when you are going to the network view, you can actually see your virtual machines, and you will also see to which physical network adapter they are connected. So when you are going to do routing based on port ID, the virtual machine is connected to one of your ports on the distributed switch, and then automatically is assigned to one of the physical network cards. So this is very static, this never changes. And if, for instance, virtual machine 2, 4 and 10 are generating a lot of traffic, VMNIC1 will not be used and VMNIC2 will be exhausted. So there are other routing policies, there are other load balancing methods. I can also do it on IP hash. You have to keep in mind, if you are going to do balancing with IP hash, that all the network cards will be used. You see automatically jump the setting to all, and you have to create an Ether channel because the MAC address of the virtual machine can communicate through both physical NICs. And there is also a policy called source MAC address. So with the source MAC address, a hash is created, and the hash will result in VMNIC1 or VMNIC2. So this is also very static, and the amount of traffic is not measured. It's just it's just connected to one of those physical NICs, and it will stay there as long as it's powered on. So there is a new setting, a new vSphere 4.1 setting. It's only available on a distributed switch, and when you are going to look at the route based on physical NIC load, the virtual machines are initially assigned to one of the physical network cards. So what you see right here is 22112. But every 30 seconds your virtual center server will measure the amount of traffic, or your kernel will measure the amount of traffic that flows through the physical network cards. And based on the amount of traffic, the virtual machine can jump over to another physical network card. So let's try this one out. In this case, we have a situation where virtual machine 2, 4, and 10 are using the same physical network card, 2, 2, 2. So 2, 4, and 10 must be accessed and generate some traffic. So let's first go to virtual machine 2. So I already installed the Postmark utility. What I did is that I switched to UDP traffic, because I'm able to create much bigger amounts of network traffic with UDP. I'm putting in a fixed block size of 1000 bytes, and the test duration is 40 seconds. So let's check on the virtual machine numbers again, 2, 4, and 10. So let's start with virtual machine 2. This is the VM client. The VM client is completely vSphere 4.1 compatible, and I'm using it for accessing the consoles of the virtual machines. So go 2, go 4. Okay. Go 4 and go 10. Okay. So let's quickly switch over to this guy. You already see the amount of traffic growing. So virtual machine 4 and virtual machine 2 are already generating a lot of traffic. Virtual machine 10 is also starting, and what you immediately see is that virtual machine 4 is now connected to VMNIC 1 instead of VMNIC 2. So this virtual machine automatically is assigned to another physical network card. The duration of the 30 seconds is ending now, and you see that this virtual machine 10 is also connected to VMNIC 1. So we have 4 virtual machines connected to VMNIC 1 right now, and only 1 virtual machine connected to VMNIC 2. So let's do another test. Let's pick 4, 6, 8, and 10. So virtual machine 4. Go. Virtual machine 6. Go. Virtual machine 8. Go. And virtual machine 10. Go. So let's hop over to ESX stop and see what's happening. So VMNIC 1 is completely maxed out. There's a lot of traffic going over VMNIC 1, and what you see right here is that virtual machine 6 is already switched to VMNIC 2, and maybe another virtual machine will also switch to VMNIC 2, but VMNIC 1 will hold. So the amount of traffic at 75%, there is a switch decision, and every 30 seconds the decision is measured. So in this case it's going okay. So this was my quick little test based on ESX stop with the network view, my VM client, which is able to access all the consoles of all the virtual machines, and of course vSphere 4.1 based on vCenter 4.1 with 2 ESX 4.1 servers. And let's do a quick look inside the amount of traffic that was generated on my ESXR host. Okay, performance, network, and we did VMNIC 1 and VMNIC 2. So VMNIC 1 is right here. It's not very heavy used. VMNIC 2. You see some very high peaks until 80,000 kilobits per second. So this is the proof that routing based on the policy that the actual amount of traffic is deciding on which physical network card or virtual machine is connected is used as a routing policy. So this was another great demo. Thank you. Bye bye. Eric Sloof is signing off.